and everyone who's attending the meeting. This is a meeting of Parliament, the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces. And we are hosted this morning here in Limpopo by both the provincial as well as the local government entities and units that are here. The committee, can we ask the people in the foyer just to keep quiet, please? They must please go outside if they want to talk. Thank you. This is an ad hoc committee that has been constituted by both houses of Parliament by resolution to focus on the floods that has occurred, as well as the recovery that the government has been implementing to deal with the affected areas. The ad hoc committee has, since its inception, visited the province of KwaZulu-Natal on at least 4 occasions, the Eastern Cape on at least 3 occasions, then also Gauteng on 2 occasions, the Northwest on 2 occasions, Mpumalanga, the Free State, and we are now in Limpopo, in Polokwane specifically. We will recall, honorable members, the devastation that was caused to a varying degree in the different provinces. And the President issued a proclamation where certain areas were declared disaster areas. Our task as an ad hoc committee that must report back to Parliament by the 30th of November this year is to do the assessment of government's interventions that has been done, the areas that were affected and what has been done. Now we are confronted wherever we go with ordinary service delivery challenges as well as damage that was caused by previous disasters. The proclamation by the President specifically covers the most recent disasters that has taken place. And the other matters will be dealt with in conjunction with cooperative governance department. I'm accompanied by a number of members of Parliament, both from the NCOP and the National Assembly. My name is Cedric Frolick. I'm the House Chairperson in the National Assembly, responsible for committees, oversight, and ICT. I will now give an opportunity to the members of the committee first to introduce themselves. Let us start on my left-hand side, and then we'll go to the other side.
Good morning to everyone present. My name is Eleanor Spies, and I'm a member of this committee.
Good morning. My name is Zuki Swangita. I'm also the member of the committee from the NCOP side.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mbulelo Baha from the NCOP and a member of this committee. Thank you so much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adrian de Bruin, member of the committee, also from the National Council of Provinces. Thank you.
We also have another member, the Honorable Mashego. He is the chairperson of the Water and Sanitation Committee in the National Assembly. He has just been excused for a few minutes to tend to a matter back in Parliament. I will now recognize the MECs who are present, and I will hand over to the MEC for Kokta, who's representing the Premier as well to introduce the rest of the delegation that is here. I understand there's also members of the provincial legislature who are here. After the MEC has introduced himself, or the MEC of Social Development, we can then go and start with the members of the provincial legislature, the mayors who are present, as well as the councillors and MMCs that are here. Over to you, MMC. I'm not demoting you. MEC. MEC.
Thanks very much, Chair, Honorable Frolick, And greetings to the members who visited our province, Limpopo. We will want to welcome you and think the 2 days that you will be here will be very much productive, that you will see what government is doing in this part of the country. Like it was indicated, I'm MEC Bioscope Makamu, MEC for Corporate Governance, Human Settlement and Traditional Affairs. I've got colleagues here, but like you did, I will allow from the MEC for Social Development to take, and we take this role. We introduce ourselves so that you can even hear before we start, that all of them can be able to speak. Thanks very much. Honorable Dalan.
My name is Nandine Dalane, the MEC for Social Development.
Thank you very much. My name is Mamidou Pitefu, the Executive Mayor of Capricorn District Municipality.
Good morning, honorable members. My name is Joshua Macrow, the Chairperson of Social Development in Limpopo Legislature.
Good morning, honorable members. My name is Yusuf Pema. I'm the MMC for Community Safety and Acting Executive Mayor of Polokwane.
Blessed morning, MEC Makamu, Acting Premier, honorable members from National Parliament and COP, the District Mayor. I am Monica Mochadi, Deputy Chief Whip of Limpopo Legislature and the member of the portfolio of social development. Thank you.
Thanks. Good morning, Chairperson and other members that are here. My name is Martia Susan Violet, member of the Social Development Committee. Thanks.
Good morning. I'm Councillor Frank Ramjape, Executive Committee Member, Mulemle Local Municipality, Technical Services. Thanks.
Thank you very much. That is the team that is here. So we have a good representation from the different, from the legislature as well as the different councils that are here. I'm not going to go into much detail. I'll hand over to the MEC for cooperative governance, traditional affairs, human settlements. It's got a big responsibility. It's also acting premier, who will take us and do the input. As far as the report, it's a consolidated report that we've received. So over to you, MEC.
Thanks very much, and greetings once again to yourselves as members of the ad hoc committee, together with the team from our province, the MEC, the executive mayor, the acting mayor, and the members of the portfolio and councillor responsible. My responsibility is just to welcome here, but also to give a little bit of a brief of the province that you are. That it's one of provinces which are always attacked with number of disaster. I must just share with you that this month, or last month, I was a keynote speaker where DMISA nationally hosted a disaster management conference here in our province. And a number of resolutions were taken. But what I want to share with you is that we are living in area or time of disasters. What we require to be is just to see how do we mitigate those disasters. Our province is one province that is affected more with drought. We are also affected more with field fires. We are also affected with disaster in the form of disease. You only get foot and mouth disease here in Limpopo and KwaZulu-Natal and part of Mpumalanga. So we are a province that is prone to these challenges that I'm talking about. But I must share with you that we have learned some of the things, like if there is a El Nino coming, we had Freddy that we were told that is coming. We try to prepare ourselves, but it appeared weak. And we have learned with the female ones are the ones who are strong. I'm not so sure what does that mean. Every time there are those female, they become so dangerous to our province. But I heard you when you were speaking that already you went to KZN, you went to Eastern Cape. I'm also responsible for the portfolio of human settlement. I've been taken to KwaZulu-Natal by the Minister of Human Settlement. The devastating situation there, we were lucky as a province, we did not necessarily have such a challenge like it was in the Eastern Cape, it was in KZN. We did have our share of the floods that were going to allow the HOD to take you through. But I must indicate that the report that we are going to give you show a number of good stories to tell where we performed. It could be just be in one municipality where money has been sent, where the municipality itself is having a challenge, which we are supporting because we are also responsible for corporate governance. But if you look at the other areas where money has been transferred to those municipalities, you will see pictures, but also you will be able to be taken through the sites that you identify that work is being done, and it's something that we are impressed. You will also receive a report from the social development. We are working together. We are supporting each other, trying to support families. Limpopo, unlike other provinces, Chair, it's more rural. In some instances, even when there's floods, you find that thing of Ubuntu still exists. When somebody's house has been taken the roof, the neighbors are able to accommodate, unlike what I saw in KZN, where government had to look for a lodges to accommodate people and government pays. We are not in that space. But I can tell you that we are also improving as a province. Where a roof is taken for a house, we no longer want to build an RDP for a person who has got a 7-room house. We look at repairing the house. Next week, I will be handing a house somewhere in Elias Mtshaledi where a roof was taken and we did not necessarily demolish. We look at the integrity of a structure, repair it, and we are going to hand over back to the family who were housed by the neighbors in the area. So that is the situation that finds us as a province that we normally have. But disasters, it's not something that we think we can pray like it was before, that we will not have. Through this climate change, we always experience these challenges. We are only happy to see you, that you will be able to help us, because I know that we still have got a challenge of infrastructure as a province. If I were to take you to our Disaster Management Center, we have formally appointed in terms of the Disaster Management Act, Dr. Makananis, who is here as the head of the Disaster Management Center. But the facility is not up to the level that you will think it will be. We do have storage there, we can store blankets, we do have our TRUs ready, but we still have got the challenge of resources to capacitate our disaster management center. I've been discussing with the HOD of the department, accounting officer, if where that will be possible to partner with the district, utilize one facility and try to, so that we can be able to have, because resources with the challenge that we have, it's not easy to construct a disaster management center for the teams that will be there. But I wanted to invite the HOD, if you allow, to come and make presentation that we have prepared that will be able to show the current floods that we had, which I can confirm that they were not so severe compared to the Eastern Cape, compared to the KwaZulu-Natal, but we definitely did something out of our applications and got funding to restore the situations as it were created by the disaster. So without a waste of time, if you allow me, Chair, let me allow our HOD, Dr. Malahlela, to take us through the presentation.
No, thank you very much, MEC, for that introduction. And we then hand over to the HOD, who will take us through the presentation. HOD, may I indicate that we have all received the presentation. So instead of waiting for the technical glitch to be sorted out, you may continue and we can follow on the devices that we have.
those municipalities that benefited from the grant and the amount that they then received. I will not go into the figures. Like I said, in Capricorn, all our local municipalities were affected, and mainly it was damage to streets, to roads and culverts, and the rehabilitation part of the work that we have been working on together with the municipalities and supporting is really there to make sure that we deal with those areas. Mule, it was damaged access streets, blowback also, eroded roads and culverts that were damaged in Spitaliana village, the Belomkumbi, mainly in the Wafom zone B, where the damage to stormwater channels, and in Polokwane, damage channel exfoliated and special is also one of the areas that will be visited. We then now report on the progress that has been made to date. And I think it's also just important to indicate that the municipalities received their approvals just in the middle of June, which was the month of the financial year. It was the end of the financial year. So basically then they had that time to now to make sure that the procurement processes are processed correctly and make sure that the contractors are on site. In Mulamule, the contractor has been appointed, already is on site, and the expenditure is already at 64%. We will then show the pictures in terms of what was the situation after the rains when the roads were damaged, and we then also then show pictures of the work that is currently taking place in the area in Mulamule. We are quite satisfied with the progress, and in terms of our provincial plans that all municipalities should have concluded all the work by the end of November. Lowback municipality was also road and stormwater control, dealing with the regraveling of roads. Also, the municipality has appointed the contractors, they are already on site. They are also at 64% expenditure in terms of the work that is happening. And these pictures here just show all of the members before, after the rains, before the work started, and what is now happening in terms of the work that is happening in that municipality. The Belomkumbi is one area where we have been doing very well. As I indicated, the damage was in the Wakomu Zone B, the stormwater channels and crossing culverts. The municipality has appointed, the contractor is on site, but there were delays in appointing. If the contractor has the expenditure is still at 0%, known as the contractor that we have appointed is on site. This is the one municipality who gives attention in terms of support as well, just to make sure that they can then be able to finalize the projects and make sure that there's restoration of that infrastructure. We also just show the pictures of the damages because of the culverts that were damaged in Zone 18 Wako. And this is the work that is currently happening in that space. But we are worried about the expenditure. Polokwane Baited Clinic, the project there is lining of the earth channel. Also, the municipality has appointed the contractor. This is already on site. The expenditure is at 6.41%. Here we also then show pictures before, just after the road, before the work starts. And this is the work currently being undertaken to restore the channel the district. These are just the pictures showing the work that is happening. This is also one of those projects that is being visited by one of the members of the committee. In Mupani district, Greater Giyani, Greater Letaba, and Greater Zanini were also affected. And in Greater Giyani, it was internal streets. Greater Letaba also had to deal with regraveling of roads, potholes, and in Greater Zanini also it was very eroded roads and stormwater infrastructure at the Little Farm and Joanna Primary Schools. In terms of the progress to date, is that in Greater Giyani also the contractors have been appointed, they are on site, and the expenditure to date is 44%. Greater Letaba Local Municipality, also contractor appointed, they are on site, and already they are at 78.2% expenditure in terms of the work. Lastly, Greater Zanin, also the contractor has been appointed, is already on site, and the project are already at 91% expenditure, and this also projects that will be visited, and we also then show the pictures of the status before the work began, and the work that is actually being taken in those areas. Bembe district, the damages we had in Musina, Makado, and Police Chabane. In Musina, it was also damage to access streets, Makado, stormwater drainage systems in a number of villages that were affected there. Police Chabane, it was a street in Kareni Sea. Musina, the contractor has been appointed, is on site, and as of now, the expenditure is at 45.6%. Makado Municipality also, they have appointed, the contractor is already on site, and the project is already at 81%. Collins Chabane, also they have appointed the contractor, is already on site, and the expenditure is at 42%. The main challenge that we faced, as I indicated, was in the Kumbi, that is at 0% expenditure. However, the contractor has been appointed and is on site. And the interventions that we put in place to ensure that we can have the projects completed on time is that both the national and the provincial disaster management centers, supported also by MISA in some instances, continue to conduct monitoring and evaluation of the grant spending of all the 10 municipalities. We have various fora as part of our institutional arrangement where the teams work together with the flood committees to regularly meet and address the challenges, particularly for Limpopo and Musina. Initially, Musina was also trailing behind, but they have managed to really deal with a lot of the issues, and they are quite on board now. It is only Limpopo that is the one about. These are the projects that we visited as part of the program, and we do once we have the pictures of what the members will see when we go to visit projects. In conclusion, Chair, is just to indicate that the center, the provincial center, together with all the agencies, we have profiled the risks in the areas, and will continue to intensify collaboration and cooperation just to ensure that not only are we prepared for disaster, we mitigate it, but also when disaster strikes, we are then able to respond on time. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for the presentation, and also thank you for forwarding the presentation timelessly to us so that we could have perused it. I'm sure the honorable members have worked through the presentation and that they want to be responded to, and other issues to be highlighted. We've also been joined now by the Honorable Jamaleng, who is a member of the committee, and he is a member of the National Council of Provinces in Parliament. Welcome, Honorable Member. Is that the last presentation, MC? There's no further presentations? Social development, is there anything?
No, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, for the opportunity and good morning to all members of the committee. By the disaster oftentimes. So, Chair, let me indicate that the Department of Social Development, as you are aware, its mandate is nothing else but to provide a comprehensive support to the vulnerable and the poor in the form of even providing social protection services to those that are unable to fend for themselves. So, in incidences such as disasters, the department has got the responsibility to adequately respond to make sure that people that may be affected by the disaster at the time do not actually become destitute. At least they are able to continue with their life. So to that effect, I wanted to give a background that says during the period 2022 to 2023, the districts were actually affected by numerous disasters or incidences in the form of arson, floods, and windstorms. And of course, there were numerous households which were left destitute as a result of these disasters that have occurred, necessitating that our social service professionals, and I'm consciously saying social service professionals to include not only social workers, but development practitioners who have to come in and intervene decisively so to elevate the plight of those that are actually affected. So the district were able to conduct assessment of those households that are affected in the various municipalities, in particular in Capricorn, because Lowbeck municipality, which was affected by the disaster, and our social workers were able to go there to conduct an assessment so that they can see what kind of an intervention is ultimately needed. And to that effect, they immediately start with what we call the psychosocial support to the families that are affected, much as those families may have been relocated to what Hofstra would have arranged as a temporary shelter. They will be able to go there and provide a psychosocial support. But at the same time, one of our key interventions, as you are aware, is the provision of food parcels. That is what we normally do in terms of providing the food parcels to the families that are affected. And then the other part that I want to talk to is regarding the statistics, to say that the total number of families that were affected by the disasters was 632, and to that effect, interventions were made to about 85 families which were assisted by SASA in the form of food parcels, and there is also 148 families who were provided with the food parcels by the Department of Social Development. All in all, is 233. The others that where you see the difference between 632 and 233 is in a situation where at least some have been accommodated in other families, so there may not be any need. But secondly, that we will find that we do not have resources enough to cover almost all. So we lucky in case other partners come in to assist. Like in this case, we have the likes of humanitarian aid, which will come from your gift of the givers. There will be civil society organizations who will come in, the faith-based organizations who will also come in. We are also working in collaboration with our traditional leaders who are also very much central when these disasters happen, to a point where some, as you know, our traditional leaders, some would even be accommodated by the traditional leaders. Of course, we have got a good working relationship with Costa and municipalities, hence we are participating in all the forum at the provincial and the district disaster management forum that are being organized. Let me also indicate here in terms of the future plans that we have as a department and interventions which involve different relief systems that we actually embarking on. I've already spoken about the material support that we give to those that are affected, in particular through the food parcels, the blankets, and any other form of material assistance that we can offer, including the psychosocial support. So those are some of the relief systems. Of course, I spoke about the issue of collaboration, but the other part or the other issue that we are also put at as a department is community mobilization and community profiling and household profiling. That is what we continuously do, because the reality is that issues of climate change, they are there to stay. So it's important that we become combat ready for any eventuality that will actually come. But the other thing is regarding capacitating our social service professionals continuously to make sure that they adequately respond, and swiftly respond to the disasters that have occurred. Amongst other key challenges, I think Honorable MEC Makamu has covered the issue relating to the resource constraints that we are finding ourselves in, to a point where at times the kind of interventions that we are coming up with, we are unable to cater for everyone. So I think that is one challenge that we seem to be confronted with, and we hope that moving forward we shall be able to overcome that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much for the great presentation. I will now ask, are there any other inputs from any of the municipalities? If not, then I will proceed and I will request the members of the committee who have any questions of clarity or emphasis of matter to raise those issues. The Honourable Spies.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and thank you for the presentations. I think the first point of concern that I think I will raise, and I'm sure colleagues, is the disaster management center. Because before the MEC have highlighted that we also know, and reports have been given to us, that Limpopo is one of the provinces that is totally under-resourced when it comes to disaster management center. You mentioned that. I think what we want to know is what is the plan of action, because you've mentioned, and we know the trend in terms of climate change. Anything can hit us at any time, at any day. What is it that the province is doing in that regard? Also, in terms of Lepele Nkumbi, the 0%, what is the immediate plan of action, and why is that money was not spent? The head of social development mentioned their future plans, but there is a lot of gaps in terms of those future plans. When it comes to a disaster, and as you've rightly mentioned, that there's issues of food, houses left destitute, I do not get a good sense of exactly what it is that the Department of Social Development is planning with regards to assisting people other than SASSA and other entities. So I would just like to stop there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Let's appreciate both presentations from the MECs. And, you know, I wanted to start in one of the points that my honorable member have touched on, the issue of 0% and as well, the contractors are on site. And if you're saying the contractors are on site, does it mean you have concluded the process of a supply chain process? If yes, is there a work that is being done since they are on site? Because it's just saying they are on site. Would like to know percentage of work that they've done already and also the spending. Because if you listen to the MEC for social development was also crying about funding that is needed. How do you balance the two, underspending versus a need for funds to be given to the province? And the other one, you have said, MEC Yekokta, that you have set up a monitoring process for the 10 municipalities on the spending of the grant. And I am not sure the grant you are referring to, is it the normal grant that the municipality is receiving, or is specifically for what we are here for? If yes, I did see the figures in terms of spending by municipalities. And one point, the process is slow. Finally, they had the contractor, and there's also spending, and this spending is up to 64%. You just cannot make sense of that. Can you please explain that to us? Thank you.
Roberta.
Thank you, Chair. Let me also add my voice to welcome the presentations that were put before us. I have just made two clarities, Chairperson. One, in terms of money received for the disaster, it was 40.4 million rands. Whilst the budgeted amount was 340 million, or 340.5 to be specific. Now, what I want to check is what is it that the provincial government is doing to address the 300 million funding shortfall or deficit in trying to meet up to cover the damages through the disaster that happened. The second one, Chairperson, is more on infrastructural development within Polokwane specifically. Because there's a problem that emanated out of the disaster itself. Now, what I want to check specifically, how is the municipality improving its drainage system as to mitigate against the severe or future flooding incidents that could happen? Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Are there any?
Yes, Chairperson, I think the biggest part of my questions or clarity it was touched by my colleagues, but what I can understand from the presentations that was given, the biggest issue seems to be resource constraints. And as my colleague have just said, with the disaster management grant received of the 40.4 million, if you can you maybe give us an estimate, or if you can tell us firstly, what is the total current budget for disaster management for the province, and what is the shortfall? And then, if you can also then explain to us, as the other colleague has said, in the same instance, there is underspending on the grants and the budgets. So if you can maybe just give us some more figures as to how you're balancing that. Because, yeah, from my opinion, that is the biggest issue, is resource constraints and just the money that's not adding up. If you can maybe just give us an explanation, or a bit clearer explanation on that regard. Thank you.
Okay, there are requests for another 2 questions from my left-hand side. Let me allow that.
Apologies for that, Chair. It just came up when a colleague at the end was mentioning it, and I'm just latching onto that because it is said that the estimated financial impact of the floods is at 340.5 million, yet you only applied for 40.4 million. So we need clarity on what are you doing about the 300 million rand shortfall.
Chair, from my side, the issue of the disaster center, because the MECs are saying the province is prone to disasters, but they didn't go to details as to what exactly that makes them not to have a disaster center. You know, we're here also to help rather than to be here as police to police you. So want to have specifics as to reasons behind you struggling to have a disaster center, yet you are a province that is prone to disasters. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will hand over now to the MEC and any other relevant official or politician to respond to these questions. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Honorable Chair, and thanks for members for have raised the questions for clarity in our presentations. I will try to answer some of the questions. Maybe I will choose those that I believe they are simple, and then I will allow my HOD and the others to take the ones that I think they are difficult. But let me start with the one-year disaster management center. Even before you come, and even before you probe on it, it's us who raise it that we see that there's a challenge. We do have a building which is not necessarily fit for purpose. But when I go there, like I said, I will find storage. Blankets will be there, the people will be there, but we don't think it contains the necessary requirements that a disaster management center. You will see in some instances require where they will be changing rooms for people to be there so that they are always available. So we do have a plan, and we have got maybe 2 possibilities that we are looking at. We have already started to want to partner with the district, because the district, Capricorn is here and the Polokwane is here, and the capacity of the 2 municipalities can be utilized to combine with the provincial disaster management. So there is a plan that we are currently, in order to use the resources efficiently, not just to have the one for Coxstar there, the one for the municipality there. We are collaborating with our local municipalities and districts to want to get one disaster that will be able to cater for the entire province. So the plan is there, including how do we relocate those people to access these things. Like I said, I personally visited, I engaged with all the officials of the disaster in that disaster management center. The only thing we're raising, which is also contained in your reports, is to show that it is not necessarily at a level that we think should be there in order to respond to the disaster that we have. The other issue raised is the issue of Limpopo. I think I was asking if we have got one official from Limpopo local municipality that can be able to help when procurement has been done and the contractor is on site. If there could be a physical progress, what about the expenditure? I think, yeah, you will come to that. You can be sitting. She will be able to clarify that part. But the municipality itself, it's a municipality that we are giving attention. I must hasten to indicate to you that out of the 27 municipalities that the province has, there were only 3 municipalities that were categorized as dysfunctional municipality. And Limpopo was one of those. And we have already started to have targeted support. The main challenge of the municipality was that they did not have the senior management of the municipality. And as I speak, the processes are there, we are giving them support, and I think even the official that is going to respond here from Limpopo, it's a seconded official between us and MISA to make sure that we give support to the municipality. And I think they will be able to help on that issue. And I think you can come handy on this question. I think 3 members have raised it. The issue of the shortfall, 40.4 against the 384. That is what we assessed and felt we need that money and made application for that money. But we were only given 40.4. That's what we have received. So I can be happy if honorable members, as you compile your report, go to National Assembly that Limpopo still requires our support. But you will know that when disaster struck us, we have in the province a joint where all the departments, infrastructure, public works, everybody else, municipality sits. So it will not like when we don't have this money, we will not try to repair the area on the basis that we don't. Out of our own funding, from the municipalities, out of our own funding, or grants with other departments when we did not necessarily receive the funding, we continue to restore the areas ourselves. So, but we can be, like it very well, Honorable Chair and members, that part of the recommendation will be that application by the province was done, but we could not necessarily get what we required. Is this what we got? This is what we are trying to spend. And we can commit. If you see, and I had a question, where is the spending? In each and every project that got a funding, we gave the spending. Some are at 64, some are at 36. But with the monitoring that we have, we can confirm that by the end of November, all of them will have spent the money and completed the projects because already the projects are in session. You will also be able to see. But like I said, I will hand over to my HOD, to the HOD, and you will have more details from Limpopo when we allow my sister to clarify more details or give more details on that. Sis.
Okay, I was still indicating to say I will just want to.
I can give you the seat.
Okay, thank you. Just a bit of background of the delays, not getting into too much details. I think one of the major delays was that the tender was advertised for about 3 times without getting any responsiveness from the bidders. However, finally we managed to appoint, hence the report that has been presented today. Unfortunately, it has been presented with a 0%. What I can indicate to you is that as of yesterday, the contractor has been paid his first payment certificate since he's on site. It's just that the report, when it was sent, the payment was not yet processed. So as we are talking at the moment, there is expenditure, and not only the expenditure, they are busy on site. They've already completed major part of the work that they were supposed to do on the resealing, of which this work will also be able to certify some expenditure by the end of the week. And also what we did to try to fast track the process of the implementation, there are sessions that have been signed with the suppliers to fast track the supply of materials so that then there will not be a delay in the procurement processes. So those are the interventions that we are busy with to try to make sure that by the end of this month, the work that is supposed to be done should be done, and also the expenditure should be realized according to the work that will be on site. And the program that the contractor have submitted to us is showing that by the end of the month, he will be completed with all the work that he's supposed to do. Thank you.
Is there any further responses? Yes, madam. HOD?
The establishment of the center in terms of this partnership between the district, provincial government and the local municipalities, that Polokwane Council has already resolved to alienate a portion of land that land available. They are busy with the other processes, valuation, and in no time then that center funds committee. That's just one. The second one was a specific question around the institutional mechanisms, the monitoring, whether the monitoring mechanism we presented on are just for this grant or for the overall monitoring of municipalities. It is specifically for disaster management. Because of the role of the PDMC, whenever we have a disaster and we then have to do recovery and the grant is made available, then the PDMC is responsible for monitoring that grant. We still have other institutional mechanisms in the department for other processes, but these are specifically to make sure that the money is then spent for what it was meant for and also within the relevant time frame. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pet.
Okay, no, thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I think firstly, one should actually acknowledge the fact that our future plans, as articulated earlier, are not actually sufficient or comprehensive enough to respond to the kind of natural disasters that we oftentimes encounter, especially given the fact that the magnitude of the disasters that we oftentimes have, Limpopo and Capricorn in particular, are in such a manner that they need a comprehensive kind of an approach, and we shall be able to beef up the future plan to that effect, so that we can be able to make sure that we are responding adequately to the incidences of disaster. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, but also to indicate that we have got an obligation to also strengthen our integrated approach with various sectors, which includes government departments, municipalities, but also other sectors in the form of civil society organizations and other humanitarian aid organizations. I think we do have that obligation, and we will be able to do that, including strengthening our collaboration or working together with SASSA, because oftentimes we depend on the SRD grant from SASSA. They are able to intervene in a much more bigger way than the department. So I think we'll be able to take that into consideration. So I think that is just what one wanted to acknowledge there, that we'll be able to improve the future plans that we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any further questions or any further matters of emphasis? Honorable Swiss.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you for the clarity on the status of the Lepelele Nkumbi municipality, which is now quite obvious why they are not performing, because they have been identified as dysfunctional. One of the issues that you have mentioned is that there was issues with the senior management appointments. Have the issue since been dealt with, or is it being dealt with as we speak? And will that possibly improve the situation? And then what other government intervention is there currently in this municipality? Is there any section 154 intervention or 139, just to get a sense of how bad it is, so that we know, because one of the other things that I do is that I sit on COCTA as well, so I would like to know. Thank you.
You may respond to that, MEC.
Thanks very much, and thanks for the question. When I was responding, I showed a number of things we are trying to intervene. I even indicated that the lady that will come and respond, it's a seconded official, which is between us and MISA to go and help in the support. But also the district that's here, they have also seconded some officials to support. But it's not only there. As the MEC responsible for corporate governance, we are busy supporting the municipality to appoint senior managers. I think a number of their positions are at the level where they have. But I think you must know one of the things that could be a challenge, that when a municipality is a lower grade, cannot necessarily attract the expertise they require. You find that they go for an interview. I know in one of the positions they did, all the candidates got a basic competency level, the three of them. Now you can choose to proceed to appoint, but you also have to have a program in place to support such candidates. And you know what the regulation says today when a person got a basic. But I can assure you, the municipality is receiving the necessary support. That's why we will be able to see them even finishing the grant. The HOD spoke about other grants like MIG. We are supporting them within our internal capacity to make sure that they perform on that regard. But we have not gone to section 139 for the municipality. We feel we should have shown a course as government, a support that we give without necessarily going like it's a punishment of section 139. You need to have proven that you did support the municipality, and the support mechanism that you do not yield results, then you will result to. And I think, to me, there is section 154 that we should be able to consider supporting. Section 139 in this province is used as a last resort when we want to, we see all the failures have been there. Thanks very much.
Executive Mayor.
Well, thank you very much. Perhaps just to add on what the MEC has said in terms of the support which we are providing to Lepelele Nkumbi municipality, I can then confirm that also as the district municipality, we were able to second 4 of our officials. The first one was we seconded a senior accountant and also a chief audit executive who also was responsible to ensure that at least they are able to improve their audit outcome. Lepelele Nkumbi is the only municipality within the district which regressed in the previous audit outcomes, and I can confirm that they were also able to submit their AFS on time. And in terms of legal, we also seconded a legal person and infrastructure. We also added a infrastructure technician, and there has been some improvements together with the Department of Cox, the MEC. We are continuously monitoring that the municipality improves. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Chabale.
I'm not sure about this one. But I just want to check how sustainable, how long is this settlement going to be? Are they people that, as she is seconded to a particular, or a particular purpose, is there someone who she is supporting, who at the end take over the responsibility? If not, if you are prioritized and then you get those people because of your status, then that's also the responsibility of income. Like you said, the director at that municipality and then the director in the district. And then, is there a problem, for instance, those who come in, because some of them will come in at the entry level, will we still have this problem staying, the other directors who are seconded, to spend at least 3 or 4 months with this, with the new influencers, to help them catch up? I'm just worried about the sustainability of it. And what also worries me is how do we get where we are in the municipality? That would be a question for another day, but I think we should let it be.
Can you see?
Thanks,
before you respond, I think the questions are relevant, but I don't want to delve too deep into the issues affecting that municipality, because our mandate is a little different. And although it is the municipality where there is a problem with the spending of the allocations, I want to request one of the members that we stay focused on that part. Cocktail both houses, from the will come and they will interrogate that matter quite extensively. Over to you, MC.
Thanks very much for such a question. But let me say the sustainability part of it. Part of my question was, we are busy supporting the municipality to recruit a final level appointment. That is the ideal situation. If we can succeed in making sure that all the senior managers are in place, definitely there will not be a need to support with 4 officials or from this. So it's a process that we are alive to, that we must make sure that the municipality has its own officials. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Are there any further questions? Any further questions of clarity that the members want to ask? If not, then we'll proceed into the next part of the program. Where's the committee secretary? Can you just take us through the next part of the program, Bola? What's going to happen after this?
Thanks, Chair. The second phase of the program is site visits. We'll be visiting 3 sites that have been identified by the municipality, and the officials from the district as well as the province will assist us in terms of going towards 3 sites. That's what the program. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you very much. And May, at this stage, I thank the honourable MECs who are present. Thank you for the interaction with you. We will, of course, go and have a look now at the different sites where work is being done so that we can do that assessment ourselves, and we will make, in terms of the mandate of the committee, the relevant observations, and also make certain proposals where necessary on how we can further expedite this important work. May I appreciate what has been done thus far and wait in anticipation that we sort out what that other municipality is not doing but supposed to do. And the province, as the MEC said, has an obligation to assist them, to get them to that point before we go beyond that. But thank you very much. Thank you also to the honourable members who are present from the legislature as well as executive mayors and the MCs who are here. Thank you very much. We will now proceed then with the site visits. Thank you.
apology